Assalamualaikum and hi. In this video, we will learn about how to find infinite limits. But before that, let's recap what we have learned before. We know that limit fx when x approach to a equals to a over b, which we do simple substitution, substitute the value of x into fx. This is the first case. The second case, we have limit fx when x approach to a, we get 0 over 0. Here we need to do factorization or multiply by conjugate. So the third one, we will find infinite limit. Consider the function fx equals to 1 over x. We know that this function is not defined at x equals to 0. From this graph, we know that this function represents 1 over x. But what is the behavior of the function as x approaches 0 from both sides? If we have limit fx over gx when x approaches to infinity, where gx equals to 0, we need to do substitution method. As you can see from this example, we have limit fx when x approach to 1 from the right and limit fx when x approach to 1 from the left. So what we need to do, we can first do number line. We know that x equals to 1 and we have 1 from the right and 1 from the left. So we can assume any numbers that nearest to 1. Which is, let's say, 1 from the right, we can assume number 1.1. And before 1, we can assume the nearest value is 0.9. So now, we can find limit fx when x approach to 1 from the right. So we have limit fx, where our fx is 1 over x minus 1. So, what we have here, we have limit 1 over x minus 1. If we substitute the value of 1, we will get 1 over 0. But we want to find 1 from the right. So we can take a look at our number line. 1 from the right, we can take the value 1.1. So 1.1 minus 1 will get positive number. Therefore, we have 1 over 0 from the right. So 1 over 0 from the right equals to positive infinity, as you can see from this definition here. For the next one, we have limit fx when x approach to 1 from the left. So we have a function limit 1 over x minus 1 when x approach to 1 from the left. So we can assume the value 1 from the left as 0.9. So we have 0.9 minus 1, we get negative number. So here we will have 1 over 0 from the left, which therefore we will get negative infinity. For the next example, we have given fx equals to 1 over x minus 2 square. Find limit fx when x approaches to 2 from the right and limit fx when x approaches to 2 from the left. So now we can do number line first to make it easier. We have x equals to 2. We want to know 2 from the right and want to know 2 from the left. So the nearest value for 2 from the right, we can just assume the value 2.1. And the nearest value for 2 from the left, we can assume the value 1.9. You can actually take any number. So now, we will find limit fx when x approaches to 2 from the right. So our fx is 1 over x minus 2 square. So we have limit x approach to 2 from the right. Function 1 over x minus 2 square. So now, if we substitute 2 into our function, we will get 0. But now we want to find 2 from the right. Therefore, we can substitute the value of 2.1. We can assume that the value of x is 2.1. 2.1 minus 2 will get positive number. Therefore, we will get 0 positive. 0 from the right. And here will be equals to positive infinity. The next one, we have limit fx when x approach to 2 from the left. We have our function 1 over x minus 2 squared. So 2 from the left, we can assume the value 1.9. So 1.9 minus 2 is a negative number, but if we squared the value, we'll get positive number. Therefore, we will have 1 over 0 positive, 1 over 0 from the right, which equals to positive infinity.